talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. But she need down the ride, oh I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How y'all doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Are you clean, crisp? Are you feeling irie today? Yes. Let us chat, shall we? I was reading on postaltimes.com that there are going to be some changes to a few facilities. I'm not going to get into the facilities names. No, one is in Albuquerque, another one's in another place, but you can go on postaltimes.com and just scroll through the articles from the last couple days, and you will see there are a few places that they will be updating. Some places may be changing. Mail service is going to be closing at some places. So, I don't really want to direct it, because what happens is when I put a title out there and say, oh, this place is shutting down, everybody clicks. Then all of a sudden they complain, well, it's not my place, it's clickbait. Well, you know what? Now you just got to go look for yourself, because there's always that one guy that wants me to read it out and spell it to them. Tell me what's happening in my place over here in the middle of South Dakota, in my little town. I want to know why my supervisor doesn't like my shoes. I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Well, when you get some real information, then you write me. Okay, sure. Well, I wanted to talk about something on a more serious note, and I didn't know how to approach this topic, so I'm going to do my best to address it the best way that I know how, and hopefully you'll follow along and see from my perspective. This is not a topic, really. This is more so of a true story, and I wanted to address an individual that kept complaining and saying, hey, please tell me something good about management. Now, I can't necessarily speak about all management. I can speak about some management, but I'm going to speak about my personal experience, myself, when I was in a supervisory role for the United States Postal Service, and explain why sometimes our hands get tied. Sometimes other managers work against us. Sometimes, as I read in one of the comments, when you have one good manager that tries to do good, they end up getting pushed out and put into another space by the ones that are pretty much set in their ways. So let me tell you how my story went and see if you can relate. And mine was actually very basic and very straightforward, because I'm pretty much an on-time individual. Let's just start with those bases. Time. I am adamant about time. I don't know very much about much in life, but I do know that when it comes to time, I don't play games. And I was daunted with the task of simply making sure that our number one money maker was on time, which is express mail. That was my task in transportation. That's just one of them, but I want to stick to that. And to the people that are at my facility that were very upset about me doing exactly what I was supposed to do, and you guys still are there, and I did put my stamp on it, and they're still to this day complaining and bitching. I just want you to know, and anybody that works there, you can go show this to all of them that had an issue. Be careful who you speak to, because everything you say, it comes back to me. You don't know who I talk to. So whether you feel comfortable, oh man, that old supervisor, man, that mother, I can't stand him. It's his fault that we going through this. Shut up. How about that? Shut up. Because people just come right back to me and tell me, y'all know who you are. Yes, I'm looking at you. And if you have an issue with it, while I was there, all you had to do was come and talk to me about it. But you couldn't, because you were wrong. And this is where the good managers come into play. I was daunted with the task of simply getting the express mail out of the building on time. Now, Because of the supervisors or lack thereof that was there before me, they allowed the time to fluctuate. Well, the problem with that is that with truck drivers and pretty much every task in the building, everything has a time limit. With truck drivers, they're supposed to depart and arrive on time. And there was a certain period where they had this all over the country. All trips leave on time. That was their thing. All trips leave on time. All trips leave on time. And all my truck driver buddies all over the country were getting written up for departing 1 click late. Every plant was getting on the managers because the drivers were 1 click late, 2 clicks late, right? That's what was happening. Now, follow me through this story, people, so you could see how it's not just the managers, it's other workers that make the decent manager just out of character. So they stuck these things up all over the buildings. All trips depart on time. All trips depart on time. Okay, cool. They all depart on time. Well, I know what needs to depart on time is that express mail, because our driver only has X amount of time to get from the building to the airport to get it on to FedEx's plane. Well, for years and years and years, they moved the time on their own to 7:45. I'm sorry, 8:45, instead of it being 8:30. Now, on the scanner, it's always been 8:30, but because other managers in my facility, for whatever their reasons were, there was an excuse for everything. They had an excuse for everything. Oh, well, this is how it was before. This is what was going on. The other supervisor, this. I don't care what the other supervisor said. I don't care what the other managers did. I know that on this building, everywhere posted in this building, it says all trips depart on time. And this scanner says it's supposed to leave at 8:30. My driver's gonna leave at 8:30. Because if my driver clicks 1 click late, then he has to answer to somebody else and he gets written up. So because your whole operation and this whole building is running behind, my driver, the people that I defend, again, I'm the supervisor. I'm going to make sure that my people get out on time and to its destination safely. Everybody in the building couldn't stand me, from the MDOs, the SDOs, and the PPOs, and the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. They all came and they approached me, and I said, feel free to call the plant manager if you'd like to. But I know that that truck is going to leave at 8:30. I don't care if there's mail on it or not. That vehicle is going to depart this door at 8:30. Does that make Jay an asshole? No. That makes Jay the fair person, because I'm following the rules and regulations that was posted by the post office. See, they tend to have this thing where it's different rules for different fools. And I don't go for that. If you're going to write my people up in the morning for departing a few minutes late because you guys came out late or whatever the case is, or because my drivers was messed up, don't think that it's going to change when it comes down to the express mail. Oh, we got to get all this stuff on that. Well, then work faster. I don't know what to tell you, but that truck is going to leave on time. And you know what it forced them to do? It forced them to move faster. You know who got bothered by it? Every employee that was accustomed to doing things the wrong way. Every single one of them. They were complacent in doing things the wrong way. And when I stepped in and I said, okay, you can do it how you want, but that truck is going to leave. They were forced. And I would take a picture of the clock. I'd take a picture of the truck, and the truck would go. There was people that would go. It was supervisors, 204Bs that would be so in awe. They would go and put the mail in the back of their pickup truck and drive it over to whatever you feel like doing. But that truck was leaving on time because this supervisor of his transportation department made sure that my people in my department were going to be held at our standard, which was we did the right thing. Now it falls back on everybody else. So the plant manager agreed because it was in stone. Those times that are on the scanners have been set there for years. And unless they go through a chain of command from people way up top, that's how they stay. But you know who got bothered? They got bothered. I know the processing clerks that were back there scanning it, they got bothered because they were rushed. I understand that because a lot of them were new. Mail handlers that had been doing it for so long, they got upset because they felt like they were rushed. I understand that. But at the end of the day, just because it was being done the wrong way for so many years didn't make it right. And so when I stood up and I made sure it was done right, and then I had another supervisor follow behind me and he would be laxed about it. Oh, well, no, give him 5 minutes, 10 minutes. No, because that's how we got down to the 15, 20 minutes late before. Don't give in. You set a standard. They set the standard. You make sure that things are done the right way and it all trickled down. And you see, that's what a good manager does. They defend their people when they're doing the right thing. And it forces the other managers to step up and have their people do the right thing. And then it continues down the line. And then this whole operation runs better because everybody's gonna have to work together in order to create one common goal. And that's to basically move the motherfucking mail. One common goal, not to play on your damn tow motors, not to sit there and play on your phones. You come to work. That's what it's all about. A good manager will make sure that when your people are doing correct, that you defend them, that you stand behind them. And that's what I did. That's just one scenario. And like I said, to this day, we got those people that'll sit there and they'll smile. Yeah, man, you were right for all this time. It was just, we're sorry. And then they go behind their back. Oh, it's this guy's fault, man. That son of a bitch, he's the one that, man, screw you. Smile in my face and then try and run the people behind my back. Watch who you guys talk to, because you don't know who I deal with. Enough with that. Y'all silly with that. Got these clowns that work at my job. Anyway. But that is what a definition of a good supervisor is. If I don't know nothing else, I know logistics. And I know what it takes for time. And I know that even though the place is only a few minutes away, it takes my driver time to strap the load, to make sure that there's room for error, to get to the place, to unload, to get the mail out on time. And that is a common job that we're supposed to do. And because we haven't been doing it for so long, Mr. DeJoy decided to step in and do things his way. Because there was very few good managers that was pushing the people to move the mail. This is going back to my videos from last year when it was supposed to be moved. They held the mail, like the people that held the mail at the stations. And they had the operations at the plants. All the machines running, but there's no mail in them. But the mail is sitting at the station, but they wouldn't bring the mail out. They would hold, oh, we don't have enough clerks to get the mail out. Just come back later and get the mail. Well, what about the 15 mail handlers that came in early to collect this, to do this mail or work this mail? What are they gonna do? And because the people held the mail for so long, and when they got back to the plant, the truck drivers didn't have no mail. The mail handlers that used to come in early, they don't come in early no more because the need wasn't there. It didn't show it was there. This is what happens. This is how the whole domino effect works. So the station didn't want to send the mail out. The plant didn't have no mail. So they feel like, well, we don't need these people here early. So then the people that used to come in at 3:30 now got to come in at 5:30. The domino effect. But there wasn't enough people up top inside these stations pushing the fact that our job is to move mail regardless. I don't care what you got going on. And I got a lot of supervisor buddies and postmaster buddies that watch me. But at the end of the day, that's the objective. It's to move the mail. It was always to move the mail. And when I would complain like, yo, get the mail out here. Get the mail out here. My driver's sitting there with 2 pieces of mail. That's it. Where's the rest of the mail? They would get so upset. And now when the statistics of the data says we don't have no mail because there's no mail coming back on these trucks, now it causes a domino effect, showing that the truck drivers don't need to go to that station anymore 3 times a day, only needs to go there 2 times because they don't have enough mail. Then the station complains when they only get 2 trucks. Well, we don't get a 3rd truck, man. We need a 3rd truck. Well, you wasn't giving us no mail. What you need 3 trucks for? It's our fault that things are happening. I don't know if you guys realize it. I look at things from every single perspective, man. When I go to the station and they didn't push the mail out, and I knew I'd come back to the plant, and there was nothing to give the mail handlers. That's when they start taking mail handlers off the dock. Well, we don't need a mail handler here at 3:30. For what? The truck drivers are coming back. They don't have no mail. Eliminating positions because of the people at the station. That's what happens. Domino effects. It sucks, but no one sees the big picture. Everybody sees one thing at a time. But I saw it happening because back when years ago, we used to have mail handlers on the dock all the time. But what do they need a mail handler on the dock to offload mail if there ain't no mail coming off the truck? But there's definitely mail at the station, but they ain't got enough clerks to push stuff out, right? Yeah, got priorities messed up there, cuz. They didn't schedule enough people at the station to push the mail out. Oh, well, we're short-staffed. You could be short-staffed all you want, but you got one objective: get the mail out so the mail can move. So people don't look at us as a post office as moving mail slowly because you held the mail. The plant got machines running for 4 hours with no mail in it because the mail's sitting at the station. It's a domino effect. It's a domino effect. Those machines record numbers. And if there's no numbers going through those machines, they're going to shut them down. Whose fault is it? Let's talk. Come on now, let's talk. Y'all ain't ready for this. You want a good manager. Well, I can only but do with so much. It takes a bunch of people to make the operation work. One okay person, one okay manager, one okay supervisor cannot change a full operation. I used to go to a station all the time. One supervisor. This man knew, regardless of whatever, I would let him know beforehand. Hey, I'm on my way. Please have some mail out. He would make sure the mail was out there. When he wasn't there, oh, it was hell on earth. But I shouldn't have to go through that. It's a common thing. Everybody has a job to do. Whether or not they do it, then they interrupt the clockwork. And when the clockwork gets interrupted and the data shows that something ain't right, and Mr. DeJoy up top sits there and said, well, this doesn't make no sense. Why are we giving them 3 trucks? We paying these drivers $40 an hour to go pick up air in the back of these trailers? That doesn't make sense. Well, we need to eliminate some of that. We need to cut the transportation costs because they cost a lot of money. And I say the same, and I'm a truck driver, you hear me? It doesn't make sense. Why send an 18-wheeler with the diesel at my rate of pay to go pick up a registry bag or an express bag in the middle of the day? I drove for an hour and a half round trip just to pick up one registry bag. Come on, man. Let's be realistic, fam. This big picture of what a manager's supposed to do and how we're all supposed to work together, it never works out that way. It never works out that way because there's a lot of people that are complacent in their ways. So this one decent supervisor can only but help us so much. But the pushback didn't always just come from the employees. The pushback came from other supervisors, other managers, because they were so set in their ways, because they didn't want to push their people to do the right thing. So at the end of the day, now we're dealing with the consequences of all of our actions. And I'm hoping that the change is gonna wake a lot of people up, because it did wake me up. I hope this little rant resonated with somebody. All right, this is JH, and I'm out.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.